Hello, I'm Trish and welcome back to my workshop. I'm super excited because we're going to get started today with me showing you how to precondition your wood when you're going to be using an oil-based stain on it. So you want to precondition your wood before using that stain because it helps with getting a smoother stain, reduces the blotchiness in the stain, and also reduces the bleeding. So if you're going to do art like we're going to do, you for sure do not want to have your lines bleed and have them look all fuzzy. So let's get started. Here we go. Okay, so here's what you need. You need to have a pre-stained wood conditioner. This is the one I use. It happens to be Minwax, and you want to make sure that it says premium oil-based prep. So you want it to say oil-based prep because there's a different one if you're using a water-based wood stain. There's a different preconditioner, and I'll show you that one in a different video. So make sure it says oil-based, and you want to make sure you stir it up really well before you use it. You need some kind of brush to put it on. You can use a cloth, or a paper towel. I like to use these foam brushes, and I reuse them. And you also need some gloves. And then when you're all finished and it's time to wipe it off, you will need a cloth. You can use a paper towel. I like these blue paper towels because they don't leave any lint on your project. Or you can use a microfiber towel, a clean one. Okay, let's get started. Let me show you what I'm going to do. This is a panel I bought from a company called Treckle. I'm not affiliated with them in any way or getting paid for showing this. I just want to make sure that you see what I'm using. I like these panels. They're very well made. When you get them, they are already very smooth. They've been prepped for you as far as the sanding goes, so that saves a step for me. Plus I can frame these, make my own wood frames to go on these, and they just look really nice when they're all finished. Plus they're light. The company's here in the USA. I don't know where you're from, but the company's here in the USA, and these are really light too. So if I have a customer that's quite a distance away, it does save on the shipping for my customer because they're lighter. Okay, so now it's all clean, wiped off, no debris or dust, and I'm just dipping my brush into the oil-based preconditioner, and you can see it's a lot like water. It's very, very thin, and it's going to soak into this wood, and it's going to fill all of the pores, and the wood will soak it up, and it won't. When the wood is dry, really, really dry, it's going to want to soak up your stain, and some spots will be drier than others, and that's how you get that blotchiness when you stain. So now I'm just going to let it sit. It's pretty wet. Let me see if you can see that on camera. I'm not sure. I put a light here so that I can have it shine on it for you. So it's pretty wet. Now we are going to wait. The instructions say wait anywhere from 5 to 15 minutes. I'm going to wait 5 minutes. So I will set my timer, and I'll see you in just a minute. Okay, so I wanted to show you real quick. I'm not ready to wipe this off, but there are dry spots where the conditioner is really, really soaking in. So that means that this piece of wood has super dry spots, and that's okay. That's why we do this. So I'm just gonna go over those spots and make sure, I'm watching this and making sure that it's getting all of the moisture, all of the oil conditioner that it needs, so that we don't have a problem when we're doing our art project. All right, right, so it's been 5 minutes and I'm looking across and I can see that it's pretty well saturated. I don't have any dry spots. I did sit here and make sure that I was touching up those wet spots as I showed you. I'm sorry, dry spots as I showed you. So here we go. We're gonna take our cloth. You can do a microfiber. I like to do these because then I can throw them away. I don't want to waste a bunch of microfiber cloths by having the oil saturate them. So here we go. We're just gonna wipe it off. And we're gonna do this really thoroughly. We don't wanna leave any residue on the top. I usually take one of these, wipe it all off, and then I'll take a clean one and do it again. So you can see here now, the wood is a little bit darker because it is wet in the pores, which is what we want because we want the we want to stain it without having any bleeding or blotchiness. Okay, so now I'm going to show you that you don't want to wad up your cloth like this and then throw it away. It can spontaneously combust in your garbage. So you want to lay your cloth out flat like this, set it somewhere or hang it somewhere to dry. And once it's dry, you can then throw it away. Same whenever you're using an oil-based stain. You want to do the same thing with whatever cloth you're using. So I have to the side here where you can't see it because it's off of camera, but I have where I just kind of hang them off the edge of my table and I let them dry, and then when it's all done, ready to be thrown away, it goes in the garbage. So here's a second cloth. I'm just going to take this now and make sure I'm really drying this good. You can see there's some coming up already off of this. So you want to make sure you're doing a good job of this. Prepping your wood is so important. Your finished art piece, you don't want to go through all of creating your art piece and then have it ruined because you didn't prepare your wood, you didn't precondition your wood. Now, if this wood hadn't already been sanded, I would have sanded it down to a 220 grit and then put the preconditioner on. So you want to make sure that you're preparing it before putting the preconditioner on, and what you do is you sand it to 220 and then go ahead and do this step. All right, so this piece of wood is ready to go. Now you want to make sure that you do your staining on it within 2 hours of doing this step. You don't want to let it dry overnight because then you're going to have to do this step all over again. Okay, so in the next video, we'll do a beautiful piece of art on this piece of wood. See you in the next video.